Hi guys, it's Candis with thinkingiseverything.com, and today we're talking about relationships. More importantly, we're really talking about the word submission, but I'm going to bring it full circle so that it makes sense. Let's go. Okay, so when we talk about the word submit, I'm going to dictionary.com because if we're not talking about the same word as in what we define it as, how are we going to have a conversation? So submit, dictionary.com, let's go. So submit on dictionary.com says to give over or yield to the power or authority. I'm having a hard time not smiling while I'm saying this. To give over or yield to the power or authority of another, okay? To subject to some kind of treatment or influence. To present for the approval, consideration, or decision of another. Okay, so we're talking about submission, relationships, specifically submission. And we talking about submission, most people are talking about a woman submitting. And in 2019, getting ready to go into 2020, crystal clear vision, it's important that we talk about these things and really settle some things. First of all, it's not going to be a one size fits all for everybody. Everyone should first know themselves, and then we can talk about others. So to submit, according to dictionary.com, because we got to get on the same page about how we defining the words that we're talking about. So to submit means to yield to the power or authority of another. We've been given this false sense of this is how a marriage works. The man is the head of the household and the woman is underneath, right? And we've come up with these characteristics and attributes of a family that does not exist anywhere you go. Okay, so first of all, we are up against these unrealistic lives. We're living a lie because, first of all, the minute you give somebody else the steering power over your life, you've just forfeited your ability to produce. You've just forfeited your ability to be energetic and magnetic, and you no longer can draw what you're supposed to be drawing to yourself so that you can be a single standing column of light and produce from that. A relationship should be the model for a great business partnership. That's what a relationship should be. I'm coming with my opinions, with my experiences, with all of my know-how. You're coming with your experiences and your know-how, and we're powwowing. That's what a great business relationship, that's what a great relationship starts off or should start off as. Not, oh, I'm commanding you and telling you what to do. I know what's best for us. I'm good on that because you don't even know what's best for yourself. Because if you knew what was best for you, you wouldn't ask a woman or ask a man to submit themselves to you. Why do you need somebody to submit themselves to you? You should be able to do the best you do without having another person to submit under you. I don't understand that. Because first of all, you can't handle your own mind. How are you going to handle mine? And it's deep. It has a lot of levels. First of all, I'm going to tell you that I've done that. I did that for years. I did that. And I was a good submitterer. I was. So I've lived that life. So I'm not talking from a person who's never done it, never experienced it. So what I'll tell you now is I'll never do it again because I know now for myself that that's not the proper way to go because I'm a leader. So the minute that I give the keys to my Ferrari to another person to drive, it'll never be driven the correct way again. Why? Because that person does not know my inner workings. That person is not driving the way that it was supposed to be driven. That person is going to take those keys and with their disposition and with their experience and with their past and with their current, they're going to drive the way they drive. So how do you utilize the resource? Do you utilize the resource the way the resource should be utilized? Or do you utilize the resource the way you think it should be utilized? If I buy a cow, I'm going to use that cow in the best way that a cow should be used. I'm not going to use the cow how I want to use it. So when you get into these relationships, the relationship should be built on you have a mind, I have a mind. Let's maximize our mind power together. Let's mastermind our relationship and then mastermind these businesses, because life is a business. There's a lot to say about submitting. But what I can say, if you think that's for you, I'm all for it. I love it for you. Congratulations. But I'm going to tell you right now that that word submission is not for me. It's not for me in relationships. It's not for me in the boardroom. It's not for me with my children. I'm not interested. I'm not submitting to another person's will. We can have conversations. I can be elevated. You can be elevated. But I'm never going to be underneath you. Been there, done that, was not profitable for me. So to say that women are lonely and by themselves because they don't know how to submit to a man, why would I submit to a man? Does that make any sense? Why is it in order to be in a relationship that one must be higher than the other? Last time I checked, I was all the way supreme. So I would only be engaged in a relationship with a man who's a king, who's a god, and who's already supreme. And a supreme man would never ask a woman to submit, because he knows that when he asks her to submit and give over her power, that she's no longer useful. That doesn't even make any sense. If I met her with her own mind, if I met her going in a direction, why would I come in and intervene and say, hey, we don't need to do it like this. We're going to do it like that. So last time I checked, we all were individual columns of light, and we all came at a specific time, date, month, year, right? Called our date of birth, our time of birth. And all of that means something, right? And all of that is its own authority over our lives. So why would I take my authority that I have and give it to another person? It's a couple reasons. The first reason is society has told us this is the way it should be. The woman should submit to the man. And that may work for some people, but it doesn't work for all. So it's a damaging rhetoric for everyone to be jumping on the bandwagon and saying yay or nay. What it is people should know who they are, how they operate, what they're here for, what their purpose is. And then it would be no need for debates. There would be no need for, damaging talk. Because just because a woman is strong and independent and able to take care of her own in every area does not mean she's unlovable. What is wrong with you people? So instead of accepting a woman who is able, we are promoting the rhetoric that because she's so able, because she's so strong, it's a problem. And that's why she's not in a relationship. It's a lot of reasons why people aren't in a relationship. And it's a lot of people who shouldn't be in relationships because they don't know themselves. And if you're promoting this rhetoric that a woman should submit themselves to a man, you might not know yourself either. Because a strong man wouldn't need a woman of any stature to submit themselves. A strong man who knows himself, who's confident, wants to meet another woman side by side. He wants to meet his partner like he meets his business partner. 100%. So this whole submission, this whole person giving someone else supreme authority over their life, I have that already. I have a source. I have a God that has given me the breath of life, and I already owe something to him. So, when we get into these relationships and we have this thought that we should now be submitting our lives under a man, this is what happens. Been there, done that. So now you've given this person so much power over this powerhouse, and he don't know what to do with it. And why should he? He is not the creator of the thing. You want to know the purpose of a thing? You should ask the creator of the thing. Secondly, now you've given this man so much power over you, and he is not able to produce with this power. Because instead of elevating the power, instead of increasing the power, instead of exposing the power is most of the time stifled. The power is most of the time reallocated to positions that don't even serve the power. Because sometimes in some people's mind, submission, when you have that authority over a person, now it's like, okay, well, I'm the boss around here and I'm going to do the important stuff and you're going to do what's left. So instead of focusing on ourselves as individuals, instead of focusing on the powerful and the important and the assets that independent women bring to the table, we're turning the tables on these women who are able and capable and demonizing them because they're everything. It would seem to me that a man would want everything. Now, if everything is not for you, because everything is not for everybody, I can understand if everything is not for you. So you should be looking for a woman who is not everything. Good luck. Because we're all everything. Every woman just doesn't know. And when you look at society, you can look and see how esteemed or not they hold their woman, and you will see how the nation goes. The minute we start disrespecting our women, the minute we stop putting our women on a pedestal, the women are confused and they're no longer operating in their power. I was in a relationship where I submitted fully all the way. I went all the way. And when people are looking at me like, what are you doing? I'm going all the way. That's all I know how to do. If we're going to do this, we're going to do it. So I went all the way just to get to the end of the road and say, I'm good. Because it's not natural for another person. Where in the Bible does it say that another person has dominion over another person? If you see that in the Bible, you're not reading the Bible properly. Because that Bible is about you and you only. When you read that Bible and you start thinking about other people and how you got control over other people, you're a fool. Because that Bible is talking to you about you in every situation. Everyone is supreme or not. Depends on how they feel about themselves. So at the end of the day, if women want to submit to men, go ahead. If men want to submit to women, go ahead. But what I'm telling you is if you want to have an optimal relationship, if you want to have a maximized relationship, if you want to have a business partnership, which all business is built upon the family unit, then you would get you a woman who has a brain and you would love her for that brain because she's going to take you places you couldn't go by yourself. You're going to go to another level that you wouldn't have access to. When you have a woman, you have access. So y'all can have some women submitting if y'all want, but you're losing out on all that you can be getting by walking side by side with her. So don't worry about it. Everything is out here. Everything is demonized, but don't worry about it because what you don't want, another man knows how to handle. So good luck with that submission thing. This is Candis, and you've been watching thinkingiseverything.com.